Good afternoon, I am Kelly Williams, nutritionist at the Worcester County Health Department. Welcome to What's Cooking in Worcester. April is National Garden Month and also Earth Day. So today, in celebration of National Garden Month, we are focusing on eating more plants. And of course, we all know we can eat salads and we can put vegetables on our plates, and those are great. But we're gonna look at some other ways to incorporate more plant-based foods into our diet. We're gonna start with a chili lime roasted chickpea. You can buy these canned or you can buy them dry. They're a great source of fiber, protein, and a really economical way to get more vegetables in with some protein at the same time. This is just a can of chickpeas that I have drained and rinsed already. If you see any of the little skins floating around, you can go ahead and pick those out. But otherwise, they're good to go right from the can. We have an oven preheated to 400 degrees, and we're gonna take our chickpeas that have been rinsed, and we're gonna just put them on a cookie sheet. We have some extra virgin olive oil. This is a nice heart-healthy oil. You wanna try to incorporate this into your diet. It's a much better choice than some of the other types of oils. And here we have a little mix of spices. We have some red pepper, some garlic powder, some cumin, and some sea salt. So we're just gonna kind of give that a little toss over. Now the great thing about chickpeas, as I said, they're ready to go from the can. So you can add those into a salad, mix them with some tuna, anything that you like. But if, our oven's ready, but if you are somebody who really likes snacks that are salty or crunchy, I'm gonna show you this great way to enjoy snacks that don't really feel like a vegetable, but you're still getting that vegetable in. So I'm just mixing it right on the tray. As you can see, we don't need a lot of dishes for this. We can do all of our mixing right here. We're just trying to get everything nice and coated. Now, once they all look like they've got some of that chili powder and cumin on them, kind of give them a little shuffle, and they're ready to go. So we're gonna put those on for 20 minutes to start. Every oven is a little bit different. They could take longer, so maybe up to 30 minutes, also depends on how crunchy you like them, but they are gonna get really crispy and toasty and kind of like a peanut. So we're gonna let that go for a little while, but while that cooks, we're gonna start on a Tuscan bean dip. So we're just gonna warm a skillet. And as we wait for that to warm up, we can go ahead and get our lemon ready. So we've got one lemon, just cut it in half. Anytime you're working with citrus, it's always best to make sure it's room temperature. So if you normally keep it in the refrigerator, go ahead and let that sit on your counter for a little while. You'll get a lot more juice out of it that way. Okay, so we've got that ready. We can set that to the side a little bit. As we wait for our pan to warm, we're gonna get some what we call aromatic herbs ready to go. And we're gonna be infusing our olive oil with our herbs. So we're gonna start with some garlic. And you don't have to be really very precise with this because we're just gonna kind of smash it and put it in the oil. You do want it peeled so all that flavor can get out. We ended up with 2 cloves, extra garlic. And you can always just put your hand on the back of the knife and press down to smash it. And again, we're gonna put this in the food processor or blender. Doesn't have to be exact. We just wanna kind of open it up. Okay. Our pan is starting to get a little warm. We're gonna add 1/4 cup of olive oil. Again, we're using that olive oil because it is heart healthy. And this is a Tuscan bean dip. So it's Mediterranean inspired. You'll see lots of olive oil. And we know that the Mediterranean diet is a heart healthy, anti-inflammatory diet. Now, once you put your oil in your pan, you always want to let your oil also heat up. So you want to heat your pan and then heat your oil. Now we're going to be using the juice and the zest of our lemon. So we can start out here by zesting right into the bowl. Now I have this little tool here, but if you have a box grater like you normally use for cheese at home, you can find those at any dollar store or big box store. That works just as well. You don't have to go out and buy a special tool for this. You notice that I'm zesting first. I'm also going to be using the juice of the lemon, but I want to zest it before I juice it while it's still firm. And I have this little citrus press here. Again, you don't need any special tool. Your hand works just fine. So if you don't have this at home, it's okay. Just squeeze it the best you can. Okay. Smells really good. Okay, we've got that prepped. Now let's check on our pan again. Okay, feels nice and warm. We are going to add that garlic that we chopped or that we smashed. Okay, we're gonna add a sprig of rosemary. You could use 1 to 2 sprigs of rosemary. Okay, it's starting to sizzle, so now I know that the pan might be a little bit warm. We wanna keep this on about a medium heat. So I'm gonna turn it down just a touch. We're also gonna add to this some of our other herbs. We have oregano, a little bit of red pepper in there. You can use red pepper flakes if you like, or ground, it doesn't really matter. The idea is just that you're infusing your olive oil with these herbs and spices to give it more flavor. So we're just gonna let that cook for a few minutes. Again, you wanna keep an eye, you're not trying to fry it, you're just trying to infuse the oil. So you just want it warm and bubbly. While that's simmering and it smells amazing, we have another can of beans. This time, these are cannellini beans. You might also see Great Northern beans. Any white bean will work. Again, you can cook these from dry, that is fine. Also, perfectly fine to use them from the can. You just wanna make sure that you drain them and rinse them really well. Anytime you're able to find low or no added sodium beans, that's a great choice as well. So this is 1 can of beans. I'm using a food processor today. You can use a blender. If you don't have any of these tools, you can also just use the back of a fork to mash the dip. It's gonna be a little bit chunkier consistency, but that's perfectly fine. The flavors and the taste will all be there. Okay. We're gonna add our juiced lemon with our zest. Okay, and we're going to add a couple tablespoons of our oil. Be really careful with this part because you do not want to splash this hot oil on yourself. You want to try to get some of those herbs in there too if you can. So we might try to spoon them out to make sure we get that nice flavor in there. Okay. You can include the garlic cloves if you'd like to. That is optional, depends on how much garlic you enjoy. Personal preference there, but the garlic flavor will be nice and infused just by using this method with the oil. Let's move that a little closer. Same thing with the rosemary. Okay. All right, let's take a peek. Might need to scrape down the sides. Take a look at the consistency. If you want to get a little more oil in there, you certainly can. If you like a thinner dip, you can also feel free to add just a little bit of water. Okay. Looks good to me. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and get our serving platter and get ready to plate this up with some vegetables, and we'll have our veggies and dip ready to go. So we have our bean dip out of our food processor and into a bowl. We've got some vegetables plattered up. I want to show you these great little mini sweet peppers because they make a perfect dipper for this dip. You may have seen these in the grocery store and wondered if they're hot or spicy because they're little. They're not. They're very sweet, just like a regular bell pepper. You're just gonna take the end off, slice it right down the middle. Now the whole thing is edible. You can just eat this whole thing, but if you're not into the seeds, it's really easy. Just kind of give it a little pass through, scrape it out with your fingernail, done. They come in really fun colors, red, yellow, orange, and they make a beautiful, colorful vegetable plate inspired by National Garden Month. Okay, our chickpeas are ready. They did take about 30 minutes, and I did give them a little stir about halfway through just to make sure they got roasted evenly around all sides. We're gonna go ahead and take them out now. So our crispy chickpeas are in the bowl, and I also added the zest of a lime since these are a chili lime flavor. So you just kind of toss that in at the end there. And as you can kind of hear a little bit, they are really, really crunchy. You can hear them bouncing off the bowl. So they're kind of like a peanut or a great stand-in if you're used to eating chips or crackers or other crunchy, slightly salty treats. But again, packed with protein, fiber, B vitamins, and a great way to get your plants in. I'm Kelly Williams, nutritionist at the Worcester County Health Department. Remember to eat healthy, be active, and prevent diabetes today.